In 2009, a man in a bedroom in Sweden built a video game by himself. The graphics looked like something from 1995. There was no story, no missions, no ending. You just place blocks. 5 years later, Microsoft paid $2.5 billion for it. One bedroom, one man, blocks, $2.5 billion. Hold that thought, because that number's not the strange part. The strange part is what it reveals about how wealth actually works now, and why almost nobody talks about it clearly. Something changed, quietly, completely, and the gap between people who understand what changed and people who don't is the largest financial gap in human history. A 26-year-old in North Carolina generates hundreds of millions of dollars a year making videos. A company that owns not a single hotel room becomes worth more than the 3 largest hotel chains on Earth combined. 55 people build something worth more than the GDP of 80 countries. These are not lucky accidents. They are not outliers. They are the same story, told over and over again in slightly different clothes. And once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. Start with WhatsApp. In 2009, 2 former Yahoo engineers built a messaging app. It did what texting already did. It wasn't faster. It wasn't more secure. It wasn't technically impressive. By 2014, 450 million people were using it every month, and Facebook paid $19 billion to own it. The journalists called it insane. Here's why it wasn't. Facebook was not buying software. They were buying people, 450 million of them. And specifically, they were buying the connections between those people. Because here's the thing. You can build a better messaging app than WhatsApp in 6 months. Any competent team can do it. What you cannot build in 6 months, what you cannot build in any amount of time, is 450 million people who already trust each other inside the same system. The app wasn't the product. The network was the product. And the network was worth $19 billion. But WhatsApp wasn't even the strangest one. 2 years earlier, Facebook bought a company with 13 employees, 0 revenue, no business model, not a single dollar of income. Price paid, $1 billion. That company was Instagram. And at the time, people genuinely thought Zuckerberg had lost his mind. $1 billion for 13 people in an app that made nothing. Here's what he actually saw. 30 million people voluntarily giving their attention to one place every single day. No one forcing them. No money changing hands. Just 30 million humans choosing every morning to go there. Today, Instagram generates tens of billions in annual advertising revenue, worth by some estimates 100 times what Facebook paid for it. That billion-dollar mistake is now considered one of the greatest business decisions ever made. They weren't buying an app. They were buying the attention of 30 million humans. But here's the question that changes everything. Why is attention worth so much? It seems abstract. Attention. It's not oil, it's not land. You can't hold it, you can't weigh it. And yet, every major platform, every advertiser, every brand, every media company on Earth is competing for the same thing. The finite hours of human consciousness. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Each one has 24 hours a day. That's it. That supply never grows. And the demand for it has never been higher. In that context, the person who can reliably capture and hold the attention of hundreds of millions of people has something that cannot be manufactured, cannot be outsourced, cannot be replicated. Which brings us to a 26-year-old in North Carolina. Jimmy Donaldson started making YouTube videos at 12 years old. He had no connections, no money, no famous family. He spent years making videos that almost nobody watched. Then something shifted, not because he got lucky, because he understood something intuitively that most people never grasp consciously. He understood that in the modern world, reach is the asset, not the content, the reach. Today, his channel has over 400 million subscribers. When he uploads a video, it reaches 400 million people at essentially 0 additional cost. The 400 millionth viewer costs him no more to reach than the first. His business has generated approximately $700 million in 2024. One sponsored mention in a Mr. Beast video cost between $2.5 and $3 million, more than most people earn in a lifetime, for 30 seconds of words. Here's the thing, he is not smarter than everyone else. He is not more talented than everyone else. He figured out that attention, at massive scale, with near 0 cost of delivery, is not just an advantage. It is a different game entirely, a game with different rules, rules that most people don't even know exist. Now here's where the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. There is a type of business where the product becomes more valuable the more people use it, not more popular, actually more valuable. Think about a telephone. If you are the only person on earth with a telephone, it is completely worthless. Nobody to call. If 1 billion people have telephones, it becomes one of the most indispensable objects ever created. The manufacturer didn't create that value. The people who joined the network did. Now apply that to every platform you use today. Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, Spotify. Every person who joins makes it more useful for everyone already there, which attracts more people, which makes it more useful, which attracts more people. A loop that feeds itself without anyone doing additional work. And here's the devastating part. The users are building the value. The platform owns it. This is the secret behind Airbnb. Marriott spent a century building hotels around the world. Thousands of properties, billions in capital, decades of work. Airbnb was founded by 2 people who couldn't pay their rent and put air mattresses in their living room. When Airbnb went public, it was worth more than Marriott, Hilton, and Intercontinental Hotels combined. 3 of the most powerful hospitality empires ever built. Worth less than a company that has never once built a single room. Because Airbnb doesn't sell rooms. It owns the network of people who do. The hosts created the supply. The guests created the demand. Airbnb captured the value between them. Uber owns no cars. YouTube makes no videos. Spotify records no music. The pattern is always the same. Build the infrastructure. Let people fill it with value. Own the infrastructure. Now go back to the bedroom in Sweden. Minecraft. Why was it worth $2.5 billion? Not because it was the best game ever made. Not because the graphics were impressive. Because something happened to Minecraft that Microsoft recognized immediately. It had stopped being a game. It had become a world. Millions of people had spent years building things inside it, creating inside it, making friends inside it. Their children grew up inside it. Leaving would mean losing something real. Microsoft wasn't buying a game. They were buying a world and the people who lived in it. $2.5 billion for a man in a bedroom who accidentally built a civilization. Here's the part that matters most. This isn't just a story about billionaires. It is a story about you, right now. Every time you scroll through a feed, you are creating data that makes the platform more valuable. Every time you watch a video, you are the attention that advertisers are paying billions to reach. Every time you message someone, you are strengthening a network that someone else owns. You are not the customer. In most cases, you are the product. Your attention, your behavior, your time is the raw material of the most valuable businesses ever built. So what is wealth? We were told it was about working hard, saving money, making smart decisions, and those things matter. But the most extreme wealth in the modern world is built on something else entirely. Reach. The ability to touch millions of people at essentially no additional cost. Networks, where the users themselves create the value simply by participating. Attention, the scarcest resource on Earth. Because there are only 8 billion people and only 24 hours in their day, and every major corporation on the planet is competing for those hours. One man built a block game in a bedroom, $2.5 billion. 13 people built an app with no revenue, $1 billion. 55 people built a messaging service, $19 billion. A company that owns no hotels becomes worth more than the entire hotel industry. In every case, the asset was never the thing. The asset was always the people. Their attention, their trust, their connections to each other. The rules changed almost overnight, and most people are still playing by the old ones.